Have you ever wondered what alien spacecraft really look like? Well, I wondered that too. At least until I was able to see them in space, in the air, and on the ground. The truth is that because they appear to have learned how to manipulate gravity, these ships can look like almost anything. And just because the inner workings of some of these extraterrestrial crafts appear to show a few similar construction techniques that look like some man-made crafts, does not infer that these crafts work or function in the same way. Far from it, other than what I stated about architectural lines of some of these crafts, there should be literally little to no other comparison between the two. Their ability to fly, accelerate, stop, and maneuver inside and outside their crafts seem to be dependent on a combination of the manipulation of magnetism and the defiance of the basic laws of physics. The question then becomes, how are they doing this? The answer has to be that the laws of physics can be defied, and based on their abilities, they seem to have proven just that. I have been fortunate enough to be able to watch and record them from time to time, and I have gained an appreciation for the display of their technologies and their abilities. Although all of these crafts appear to be unique in their size, style, and design, they each seem to share a common theme. Their overall material composition appears to be the same. By that, I mean that each and every one of these crafts' material composition appears to either be transparent or translucent. Even though I can't explain, in every instance, where I've managed to capture one of their crafts, exactly what's taking place in the photo, I've also noticed that something seems to be affecting or distorting everything within close proximity of the craft, and its contents. What I find amazing about this, is that it almost appears as if though what I might think that I'm seeing is the entire ship, though the reality is that the surrounding area gives me the impression that in fact, what I am witnessing is only a very small portion of the entire picture. There was a time several years ago, that I could see them as some form or fashion, almost every day. It is now the year 2020, and my sightings have subsided somewhat. At least in my area, they have. But that is not to say that they have left the planet. I'm only stating that I haven't been looking for them as much, simply because I already have 100% verification of their existence, and I don't need further proof to continue my search. However, I still take pictures outside of the sky, just in case I manage to capture something else I may consider to be magnificent or spectacular in nature. Here are a few of the strange crafts I was able to record from NASA's Earth feed, back when it was actually being shown, with only a slight delay. It shows some pretty dramatic and awesome footage of some unexplained craft sitting extremely close to the International Space Station. It looks remarkably similar to the craft that flew over my home on June 26, 2010. The difference is that this event took place on April 4, 2015 at about 3:06 a.m. It's funny how easy it becomes to recognize them, once you've been abducted and taken aboard one of their crafts. I guess that there are some things that are almost impossible to erase. I know that all of this is hard to believe, nevertheless, it is all true. Every bit of it. But I make no claims to understand very much of it. From what I can remember of my abduction, I didn't find them frightening. Instead, my fear stemmed from witnessing the power they possessed and their incredible restraint in using it. Based on what I was witnessing, I wondered how they managed to exist in the vastness of space, seemingly without air, food or water. Now that was just an assumption on my part, but from the looks of both of these crafts, with all of the ETs inside each of them, there hardly seemed to be enough room for anything else. But, to witness the majesty of all this, was really something to experience. But for years I had to endure people telling me that there was something wrong with me. That I should just shut up talking about it, because I sounded delusional, simply because I decided to speak about my experiences. Looking back on it, I have few regrets. I would not change any of it, or trade places with anyone. But, I will admit, it has been tough getting through it. I wondered why these crafts were so different. Especially since that seemed to be made of the same basic material. Was there some underlying reason for it, or was it just a question of personal taste? I wanted to know because this seemed to me to be a human trait. In any event, at least they helped me to verify what was coming to me at my home and work. But there was one object I found to be different, and it was being called a meteorite. However, after taking another look at it, I have serious doubts that this is in fact what they say it was. In fact, let's take a brief look at it now. This object was determined to be a meteor, even though it was videotaped in deep space. But it doesn't seem to be either a meteor or comet. Looking at the very first frame, I can see some of the same images in this object as can be seen in the craft that flew over my home. And as I watched the movement of this object, there also appeared to be movement inside as well. Look at the first frame carefully, then watch for movement internally. Notice the changing positions inside. I did. As a matter of fact, this object's composition appears to be the same as the crafts I've witnessed. Also, there appears to be light being generated internally. The last thing I want to say about it is that I can see not only faces inside, but entire bodies as well. This, in my opinion, is a craft. Unfortunately, I have a lot more to cover, but I don't want to be accused of overwhelming my audience. I will end this video with this craft. It was not the most unique spacecraft I've seen, but it deserves cool points for style and grace, and it looked fierce. If I were to travel through space, I might want to be on board a craft like this one. This craft seemed to have it all. Slick lines, 2 large viewports in front, and even larger ones all around the ship. Everyone on board can see through the ship, to the outside, but it is difficult for anyone outside to see in. This craft just seemed to have a lot to offer. But looks can be deceiving. When I took a closer look, I found very little difference in this craft and all the others I've seen. As I stated before, the optics are a little different, but everything else appears to be the same as all the other crafts I've witnessed. And with that, let me know what you thought about this video, give me a thumbs up, or a like, and if you like this content, please subscribe to this channel. Again, thanks for watching, and keep watching the skies. Have you ever wondered